Hi guys, it's me Annie and I'm back with another video. On my channel, I do all kinds of cooking, crafting and DIYs. For today, we are back in the kitchen and I'm going to be showing you how to bake delicious homemade rusks, also known as Beskuit, as us Afrikaans people like to call it. It's a delicious breakfast or anytime snack. So let's get baking. First, let's go over the ingredients you will need. This is 1 kilogram of self-raising flour, 8 cups of all Bran flakes that I crushed up a little bit, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. That is the dry ingredients. Then for the wet ingredients, you will need 450 grams of butter that's melted in the microwave, and also 2 cans of condensed milk, and then also filled up to the 1 liter mark with milk to make it into 1 liter. Then you just mix the condensed milk and the milk, and that is the wet ingredients for this recipe. And I will be baking it in this lovely Beskuit pan. My oven is preheating on 180 degrees Celsius. Now I'm going to start mixing the dry ingredients together. I'm mixing the 8 cups of all Bran flakes into the 1 kilogram of self-raising flour. I like to crush up the all Bran flakes a little bit so it mixes easier into the flour, else the all Bran flakes tend to pick up the flour and leave dry bits in your rusks, and you don't want that. You want it to be nice and smooth. You will be needing a really big bowl to mix all your ingredients in, because it is quite a lot of ingredients to go in here. So now we're adding 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Mix that in. And I'll make a little well. I'm going to pour in 450 grams of butter that I melted in the microwave. We're going to mix that in to the dry ingredients. Okay, now that you have it all nice and crumbly and the butter is mixed in, you make another well. And now we will be adding the condensed milk and milk mixture into the bowl. Now that all our ingredients are nicely combined, we're going to transfer it to our pan that I'm going to spray with cooking spray to make sure it doesn't stick. Now I will scoop out all the batter into my pan. Now all the batter is inside the pan, and I will spread it out to all the sides to make it into one layer. Best way to do this will be by using your hands. So I'm going to remove my rings and place some butter on my hands and then spread it out. My hands are really clean. I washed it before I touch the food. And now I will show you how I'm going to cut it before we place it in the oven. My hands are clean, and now I am ready to cut the biscuit. This is the cutter that I'll be using. It fits exactly into this pan and cuts it into nice finger shapes. Now do this before baking. Just press it down into the batter, into the dough, to create the finger shapes of the biscuit or rusks. Make sure to press it all the way down so it makes a nice clean cut through. Unfortunately, I think these pans are only available in South Africa, so you won't be able to get them very easily. But if you do have a South African shop close to you, you can ask them if they will be able to order a rusk pan for you with a cutter. That might be a possibility. So after you cut through, you lift it up very carefully with these handles on the top. It is a very sticky dough or batter, so go slowly, and if you need to, just press the dough down if it lifts up too much, and go slowly. And there you've got it, nicely cut and ready to go into the oven. I will be baking this for 1 hour at 180 degrees, and then I will bring it out and show you what it looks like after it's baked. A good alternative, if you can't get your hands on that special pan, you can always bake this rusk, aka biscuit, in 2 normal bread pans. You spray it with spray and cook, and then fill it up to 3/4 full, and then bake it in the oven like you would normally 1 hour at 180 degrees. And then after it comes out of the oven, let it cool down, take it out of the pan, and then cut it with a bread knife. You can cut it into finger shaped pieces with a bread knife. It won't look as professional as the other pan, but it will taste delicious and just the same. So that's an alternative for you. Use bread pans instead. The Beskuit, aka Rusks, just finished baking and I took it out of the oven. It's still really warm. You can see the lines of the finger shapes that I cut down before baking. Now I'm going to wait for this pan to cool down, and then I'll come in with a knife and just cut on all the lines to separate all the Beskuit fingers from each other. Then I will be placing them on 2 separate baking sheets or baking trays, and then I will have to dry them overnight for 8 to 10 hours on a very low oven of about 100 degrees Celsius or 90 degrees Celsius, just to dry them very slowly overnight. Now I will show you how to cut the fingers to separate them, the rusks or Beskuit. Just cut on the lines that was made by the cutter before baking. Now that all the fingers are cut, I will be removing half of this and placing it on another tray. You place them in a way that they do not touch each other, so they can dry on all the sides. So this tray is full. You can see it's spaced apart so there can be airflow when it's drying overnight. And with the remainder that's left on this baking tray, I will do the same by placing them far enough apart so there will be sufficient airflow for the rusks, aka Beskuit, to dry. Now we have 2 pans full of lovely Beskuit fingers, and they are ready to go in a very low oven of 90 to 100 degrees Celsius, and they need to dry overnight for about 8 to 10 hours. It's the next morning and the Beskuit is fully dried. I left it 8 hours overnight in the oven at 100 degrees, and I just took it out of the oven and it's already being devoured and being enjoyed by my family. I hope you enjoy making these rusks or Beskuit and enjoy a lovely breakfast. Enjoy it with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or anytime snack. Thank you for watching. See you next time.